So the first success I'm finding is against Terran. I'm starting to get a bit more confident. I've managed to get a few wins so far. At first, I was really interested in trying Zerg style with Hydra Lurker, just because I kind of like the look of it, I guess. But I tried that for 2 games and it didn't go well at all. The Terran went mech in both games, and I pretty much just got crushed by siege tanks. I executed the build poorly, and I wasn't able to control very well, and before I was able to get enough units out, they contained me with siege tanks and then just proceeded to smash me. So I went back to trying to use Lane Ultra Defiler in late game with Lurkers for defense and Mutas early on, like I did in the game in my first video, and that's been working much better for me. I think this is a good example video here. I wasn't able to get much done with Mutalisk harassment early on, but I kept them around, and then they were able to deny his 4th base for quite a while, which really put me ahead in economy and production, and I was able to mass up a huge amount of units, which probably could have just won the fight on their own. But once you start using Darkstorm, you see how powerful it is so quick and how it really sealed the deal. Even though I just lost 2 Defilers to a Spider Mine. There we go. The Bio just can't fight at all once the Darkstorm goes down, forced to give up their position and just get cut down as they go. This lets my Ultralisks get up into the main, and he just definitely does not have enough to stop it. So a lot of Zergling Ultralisk is really powerful. I can definitely win fights, but against an opponent with better defense, they might not have been able to do that. So we can see incorporating Defilers into my play makes it so much stronger. Getting down 1 Darkstorm in a good spot really just potentially allows Zerg to totally crush the fight. So even though it looked like he was starting to kill me there, here a little bit later, I brought up my Lurkers that were on defense to do a backstab, and they're going to shut down this base, and then I got more Zerglings coming in. More Zerglings being produced, and I'm going to have more Ultras, and he's going to get shut down. The next match I want to show, though, is not a normal match at all. It was very unusual, but it was a lot of fun. It was the first time I've been rushed by a Terran. I've only been rushed by a protoss, like once before, so I definitely did not really have much of an idea what to do, and I was just kind of feeling my way through the game. But he's going to bunker rush me, and I'm just doing my standard throw down a hatch first and then go up to a spawning pool, so I'm not ready for it at all. And once he arrives, I'm just going to cancel the hatch and fall back into my main, because I'm like, okay, there's a bunker going down. I don't really know what the correct response is. I'll just fall back and throw down some sunken colonies. And I think that was definitely a good call, because he's obviously gonna press the issue and try and come up in the main and end the game. And I get the sunken colonies up in pretty good time, I think, and they're able to shut down this first rush. And then I did make some panic Zerglings, and they're able to kill a couple Marines out here and a couple SCVs, so that slowed him down on the offense. And then I send them over to his base, and I kill 3 more SCVs with them, which I think was pretty good, and definitely slowed him down a bit. And I was just going to keep going with my plan to go into Mutas, even though I was on 1 base. So I think the Zerglings slowing him down a little bit probably helped keep the pace with him a little, so I could get my Mutas up. And then once he had backed off, I did try to get my natural expansion up again, but he came in with more Marines, and I didn't really have anything to defend. So I canceled that natural again, then I was like, wow, I probably really need to at least get another hatch down, so I at least have more larvae. So I tried throwing 1 down to my base, but it was way too far out from my sunkens. So he comes up with his next bio army and is able to easily shut that down. I tried to save it by getting another sunken up towards the back, but it didn't go up in time. But here I think he was a little too passive, because he probably, he killed the hatch and then that sunken wasn't quite ready yet. So I feel like if he dove on that sunken, he probably could have gotten that taken care of, and then he would have had free reign across the back of my base and might have even been able to snipe the spire. But this easily allowed me to just continue my path and get my Mutas out, even though I didn't have many larvae. So I get my Mutas out, even though it's just 3, half as many as I would normally want. But as we can see in his base, he has absolutely nothing to defend. He wasn't prepared for Mutas at all. So I'm able to send the Mutas down there and get a little bit of damage done. I probably should have followed the SCVs running away, but I think I was a little scared of the bunker. And of course, my decision making isn't great. But this was okay, because, my main goal wasn't to kill him here. I was just going to keep massing up Mutas. I had enough sunken colonies down, so I was going to get a good mass of Mutas together and then try and go over and kill him. So I'm able to get a full control group of mutas together and head over to his base, and we can see he still has nothing. He has this factory, and he's going to get an add-on on this, so I think his plan was to just try and go up into siege tanks and try and bust my Sunkens and win. Even though he had just been attacked by mutas, there was like no intention of trying to get any defense up against mutas. I think definitely there should have been an engineering bay thrown down and some missile turrets put up. But yeah, so all there was like 8 Marines in his base. I can easily take those out and win the game. So he's trying to end the game with a rush, and it's pretty obvious he doesn't have much of an idea of what to do after that doesn't work. And that's pretty simple, but what I thought was really interesting about this game was that if we look at his APM, he ended up with 226 APM. I was like, what? How does he have 226 APM? That's like higher than almost anybody I get matched up against. I only fought one person with over 200 APM anytime recently that I can remember, and I got crushed. So I was like, how does he have that much? And I think this is a good example that actions per minute isn't everything. Obviously mine's really low, and I could definitely benefit from having higher APM, but I don't think it matters how many actions per minute you have. If a full control group of mutas show up in your base, and the only thing you have, your only base, and the only thing you have to defend against them is 8 Marines without stim, I think probably pretty much anybody's going to die there. So APM's important, but as you can see here, having a better idea of what to do is probably more important.